tells everyone to take off their helmets because he knows the disease isn't in the air, implying he was the one that put the black liquid in Charlie's drink. The crew reaches the new room with the thousands of cylinders and David calls it a cargo hold. This new scan angle makes Yannick and Meredith realize this isn't a cave, it's a starship. David activates the machine while he explains the engineers were in the process of leaving for Earth when they lost control of the black liquid that killed them. The last engineer is woken up, and Elizabeth tries to ask some questions, but Peter makes one of his mercenaries shut her up with a hit before he begins asking philosophical questions of his own. David translates into Proto-Indo-European, but the engineer reacts by taking David's head and using it to kill Peter. Then he pushes Elizabeth away to kill the mercenaries that are wasting bullets on him. Back on the ship, Meredith sees Peter's death through David's eyes and orders Yannick to get things ready to leave the planet. Elizabeth runs away as the engineer activates its own ship to fly to Earth as well. This opens lots of areas on the ground and Elizabeth jumps through them as she calls Yannick to tell him to stop the engineer or the black liquid will make it to Earth and destroy humanity. Prometheus isn't a battleship and Meredith thinks they should leave without doing anything, but Yannick ignores her and orders his pilots to warm up the ion propulsion, which will transform the ship into a bullet. Meredith runs out of the ship, and Yannick gives permission to his pilots to do the same, but the pilots respect their captain and would rather go down with him. In mere seconds, both ships are crashing in the air, successfully stopping the engineer from leaving. However, the ships now fall to the ground, and Elizabeth and Meredith have to run away before they get crushed. Meredith isn't fast enough and dies, but Elizabeth manages to survive by finding cover next to a rock. Then Elizabeth goes into Prometheus to get some supplies and hears some noises deeper inside. After grabbing an axe to defend herself, she goes to investigate and discovers her alien offspring has escaped the medical pod and has grown into a huge size. At that moment, David contacts Elizabeth and tells her to run, but it's too late. The engineer shows up and pushes Elizabeth against the wall to kill her. Elizabeth thinks fast and opens the door behind her, which releases the alien offspring that immediately jumps on the engineer. As Elizabeth runs away, her offspring thrusts an ovipositor down the engineer's throat and subdues him.